All right, so welcome. I'm Becky Watson, and thank you for joining me today. I am here with my good friend Jennifer Smith. We work together. Many of you know that I have a physical space on Pleasantburg in Greenville, South Carolina, and Jennifer and I work out of the same space. And I just wanted to bring her to the page today to introduce you to her, to let you know a little bit about what she does. She is a naturopath, and right now we all need a little bit of help with our immune system. So we're just going to talk about a little bit about that today. But welcome, Jennifer. I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So tell me, what is a couple of the top tips that you would suggest for keeping our immune system working well right now?
Gosh, I guess I could work backwards. That might be a little bit easier. I've said before that the fastest way to suppress your immune system is to not get enough sleep, to have a lot of stress in your life, and to eat a lot of sugar. So, so
Yeah.
those are really the top three things that suppress your immune system. And, I know that's kind of, especially right now, it's easier said than done. But if I can just kind of elaborate on those things a bit, sleep is a really big one. Sleep is when your body heals and regenerates itself. You detoxify, your liver dumps toxins, your hormones reset, all kinds of things, your tissues rebuild, all kinds of really neat things happen. And, just a few pointers for getting sleep. I know, like I said, it's easier said than done, but trying to keep in the same routine that we would under normal circumstances. So, and I've kind of caught myself falling into it a few times over the last, we've been at this 8 weeks or something. Who even knows what day it is or anything? But trying to maintain a consistent sleep schedule is good. And I'm kind of known for saying get your 10 to 2. I know you and I have talked about that before.
Mhm.
And what I mean when I say that is sleeping from 10 to 2, that group of hours is when the most intense healing takes place. And so, in other words, sleeping from 10 to 6 is far more beneficial than sleeping from 12 to 8. So even though it's the same number of hours, if you don't go to bed till 12, you've missed out on 50% of that intense healing, cleansing, resetting, detoxification process. So if you can get your 10 to 2 at least a couple times a week, that can make a really big difference. Reduce the amount of EMFs, especially in the bedroom, is helpful. Electromagnetic frequencies. So not sleeping with your phone next to your nightstand, keep it far away, turn it off, put it in the kitchen. Turn off your Wi-Fi. That's a really good one, because your Wi-Fi is just, that signal is going constantly all night long and you don't need it when you're sleeping. So reducing EMFs, keeping things like clocks or lamps, TVs, either out of your bedroom or plugged in at least 3 feet away. So that can really help. Not consuming sugar or caffeine too close to bedtime, or even eating in general, because the digestive process takes a lot of energy. And so if you eat really anything too close to bedtime, your body's a little confused. It's busy digesting that food, and it's like, am I supposed to rest? Am I supposed to be working here? What am I doing? And your digestive process starts to slow down, at 7 p.m. anyway. Your body's on like a circadian rhythm, a clock. And so when you go and throw food at it too late, that'll prevent you from getting good sleep. So those sort of things. And I mentioned caffeine. Caffeine after 2 o'clock can really throw you for a loop. And I've even done that a few times over the last 8 weeks. I'm kind of tired in the afternoon, and I'm like, oh, I think I'll have a little iced coffee. And boy, whew, every time I've done that I live to regret it. So just a few things with sleep. And all this kind of goes hand in hand as well, the sleep, the stress, and the sugar. So consuming sugar can prevent you from getting sleep. Being stressed can prevent you from getting sleep. Not getting enough sleep can cause you to be stressed. Not getting enough sleep can cause you to consume more sugar. So they all kind of go hand in hand. One of my favorite things for improving sleep quality is yoga. Maybe you want to chime in here a bit on that.
Yeah, every Tuesday and Thursday right now, I've got the live yoga on my page.
Okay, that's so nice. Take advantage of that, people. That is so nice to have. 6 p.m. I'm still waiting on the 6 a.m. class for you to launch
Oh,
that.
no. Night owl here, not happening at 6 in the morning. But yeah, and I have been leaving them up on the page. So if you don't catch it live, no worries. Just go search the videos on my page, and there's bunches of them up there now.
Okay, that's nice.
Pick
And
one and
even
play.
just part of yoga, doing deep breathing. Deep breathing does wonders for reducing stress, for, balancing blood sugar. And when I say deep breathing, deep abdominal belly breathing, I tell people breathe like a baby. So instead of expanding your lungs up high, expand them down low and in through the nose. Expand your abdomen, hold it for a bit, and out. Exhale fully, and we tend to not exhale fully much, so pockets of stale, rancid air tends to get trapped in the lower part of our lungs. And also, I think just American lifestyles in general, especially right now, there's a lot of stress out there. And I know there are times, I think we all do it, where we realize, gosh, I haven't even been breathing for a while. We tend to hold our breath. And so
I know I catch myself still doing it, and I've been doing this for years
right.
and years, and I'm like,
we're all
I wasn't
human.
breathing.
Yeah. You're human and you're American, so those are 2 marks against you right there. So yeah, just doing things to lower your stress level, to improve sleep, to improve the immune system. I'm also a big fan of adaptogenic herbs. And, I can't make any specific recommendations to people who aren't clients. But, just do a little research, and it depends on different things, it depends on any medications you're on or things like that. But adaptogenic herbs, they have their own, it's their own special category of herbs. And what they do, I just describe them as smart herbs. They just kind of know what your body needs. So in other words, if you're anxious, you're really stressed, you've got a lot of anxiety, you're kind of all over the place, adaptogenic herbs will kind of bring you down and balance you out and calm you down, relax you without putting you to sleep like a sedative would. On the other hand, if you're kind of dragging, you've got some brain fog, you're kind of struggling to focus, they'll perk you up and give you mental clarity without giving you the jitters like caffeine would. So adaptogenic herbs are great. And my personal favorite is Schizandra. I kind of refer to Schizandra as my spirit herb in Chinese. And I don't know if it's Mandarin or Cantonese, but it means 5 flavors. So it's like sweet, sour, bitter, or salty. But Schizandra is they're little red berries, and they harvest them and dry them, and they can either make them into a powder and encapsulate them, or make a liquid tincture out of them. But Schizandra is a nice adaptogen. It just works really well for me. It's also very good for the liver. And, Chinese students have been using Schizandra for years and years to help them get through exam time, to help them focus and lower their stress levels. Some other adaptogenic herbs would be ashwagandha. That's a pretty popular one right now. That's an Indian Ayurvedic herb. Rhodiola, that is a Russian herb. It grows well in places like Siberia, high altitude, cooler temperatures. It's also good for altitude sickness, I might add. And let's see, cordyceps is a good adaptogen. A lot of people have heard of ginkgo biloba. That's another one. So those kind of herbs can be very helpful. Some people prefer just the single herb, and other people prefer a blend. So like I carry a blend in my office that's got about 7 or 8 adaptogens in. So that's a very popular one. So I'm a big fan of that.
So
And
I'm going to stop you there for 1 second. If someone was
yeah,
interested in learning more about these herbs and whether it would be okay for them to take them, are you still taking clients right now? Are you able
yeah,
to work with
yep,
them on the
yep.
phone, online, or?
I sure am. Yeah. In fact, I've got clients all around the country, in all different states, lots of different states. And so, yeah, we can do, I start with what's called a foundational consultation, and we can do it over the phone or like a Zoom call, just like what we're doing right now. And that's a 2-hour consultation. And I call it the foundational consultation because it doesn't really matter what your symptoms are or what your diagnosis is, because a lot of times they're wrong anyway. But I always like to firm up the foundation first. So I start with, let's see what cracks you've got in your
Sure.
foundation. That crack might be you're not getting quality sleep. It might be you're chronically dehydrated. It might be you just have a lot of stress, things like that. So we firm up the foundation first, and then we'll go into specific conditions, health conditions.
Sure.
And
Okay.
so yeah, in order for me to really give specific advice, I need to know, how a person sleeps, what they eat, what they drink, how they handle stress, what supplements they're currently on, what medications, surgeries, health conditions, things like that. But
It's
yeah,
really
so that's
thorough.
yeah, it is
Really,
very
yeah.
thorough, and so
And
yeah,
I've done it. She's very thorough.
thanks. So it's called a foundational consultation, and you can just book that online. It's enlightenedupstate.com. And once I get that confirmation, then I send you the paperwork to complete and then submit that to me just prior to us talking. So that way I can give specific advice, because there are a lot of things that come into play. But
Yeah.
yeah, adaptogenic herbs are really nice, and a lot of them are very, very gentle. But again, we just need to take some other things into consideration.
Sure. Yeah. You need to know background before you can make any recommendations, for sure.
Right,
Yeah.
correct.
But it sounds like a lot. I mean, it's all interwoven.
Yeah,
Sleep, what
absolutely.
you eat,
Everything is connected.
stress. It's all interwoven.
Yeah,
And
in America, conventional medicine tends to compartmentalize everything, and we have all these specialists, which is great, really. I mean, if you're having a problem with your heart, you go to the cardiologist. If you're having a problem with your brain, you go to a neurologist. Skin issues, you go to a dermatologist. So it's great that we've got all these specialties, but on the flip side, is they don't always connect the dots and acknowledge the fact that they are all interconnected. So sometimes if I have someone come to me with a heart issue, for example, a lot of times I'll look and I say, okay, well, you know what, this is really stemming from the liver, for example. So I always, connect the dots there. So, and really, as far as you hear a lot about the microbiome, a lot about gut health and things like that. And our body is really an entire, it's everything has its own microbiome. Your skin has its own microbiome. So your gut is known as the master microbiome, but your skin has its own microbiome. Your eyes have their own microbiome. Your mouth has its own microbiome, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's all tied together. And so that's just kind of what I do. I connect the dots and firm up foundations and go from there. And we take emotions into account, which I know that's something near and dear to your heart as well. So it's wonderful to work together in that aspect, because
yeah,
emotions do play into a lot.
yeah. It sounds like you're talking about in modern medicine. They zoom in on the problem,
Yeah,
and you zoom out.
right, exactly.
Like
Yeah,
you're
that's a great
stepping
way to
back.
describe it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
I
looking
think
at
the
the
two
whole
complement
picture.
each other really well. Yeah, looking at
Mhm.
the whole picture. And I think the two do complement each other very well.
Yeah,
I don't think one is, better than the other. I think they go really well together.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So, any last tips that you want to hand out, or just let's all get better sleep? eat,
get
eat
better
better,
sleep,
sleep better,
lower
and let it
stress
go.
levels. I will say one recommendation that I can make to everyone, regardless of any health conditions or medications you're on, grab your remote control and push the off button.
Yeah.
Especially when the news comes on. That's a great recommendation. I can give a blanket recommendation to everyone, regardless of health conditions there.
Yes.
And I touched on sugar, and I do want to make clear that that does not include fruit. So please eat fruit. Please don't be afraid of fruit. I've had even holistic doctors say, oh, sugar. No, not really. Fruit has all kinds of, fiber and minerals and all kinds of phytonutrients in that sugar, that it cancels out any sugar in it. And, we're really lacking in sugar, and really vitamin C is very common in fruit. You're going to find your highest levels of vitamin C.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few vegetables that have high levels of vitamin C, but mostly fruit, especially citrus fruits, and highly assimilatable sugar. So, or nutrients, I should say, minerals. So yeah, please do eat your fruits and vegetables right now.
Yeah.
That's some of the best things that you can do. Fruits, veggies, lower your stress level, get sleep, because one thing that sugar, processed refined sugar, absolutely does is it destroys the immune system. And I feel it myself whenever it's, whether it's a birthday party or, Christmas time or whatever, if I consume sugar, I feel it. So whatever you can do to kind of break the sugar habit is going to be helpful for the immune system. So those are probably the three biggest: sleep, sugar, and stress.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing those with us today.
You're
And
welcome.
tell my page one more time, how can you be reached? What's the best way?
The website is enlightenupstate.com, and there's no D in enlighten, so it's ENLIGHTEN, enlightenupstate.com. And I can do consultations regardless of what state you're in. I've got clients in many different states.
There you go.
And so that is a great way to get started. And if you are local and you choose, then down the road we can do some nice gentle detoxing, and I can go further with some great stress reduction techniques and different tools and things that I've got here in the office. And while you're here, we can get you doing some yoga as well.
That's right.
All part of my master plan.
we work together in the office in that regard, and she does have some fun ways to help you out in there. I have thoroughly enjoyed working with you and doing the foot baths and all that. So it's been really wonderful.
Same here, Becky. I've thoroughly enjoyed having you, and I'm ready for things to get back to normal.
Sooner rather than later.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Well, thank you so much. If you'll stay on here for just a moment, but I'm going to stop the recording.